So I was playing Marvel Rivals with my best friend Brandon. As I was doom scrolling between the games, I witnessed the announcement for the Riverside Anime 2026. This would be a one of a kind experience, as lots of people of various types of smells would join up to celebrate anime. Outside of the usual anime activities, what actually caught my attention were the celebrity guest stars, specifically Amalee. As my backline was being shredded by an unemployed Venom player, I made the genius financial decision to book a ticket for the anime convention. I left Brandon to perish in the back lines as I bought the ticket, as he was weighted down by the fact that the only competent player in our duo didn't care about the match. So there I was, staring at the ticket I had bought impulsively. I soon realized that these $35 would not be the final cost, but simply the opening bid in this long, tiresome journey. As you can see, Riverside Anime has lots of cosplay themed events, and I will not be the one guy that wears a Pokemon shirt while everyone looks fabulous. So I needed a cosplay, with only 8 days before the con. So, like every American in search of cheap and affordable products, I turned to the world's most trusted manufacturer, China. After 3 long minutes of searching, I found the most confusing website that sold Star-Lord's jacket and pants for only $250. Pairing that with the mask and the Guardians mixtape that I already owned, thanks to Disneyland, I got myself the perfect cosplay for a Star-Lord one-trick. But here, King Guangguan seemed to hate me even outside of Marvel Rivals, as the cosplay would only arrive on time if I spent 57 additional dollars for fast shipping. I checked the location of the package, and the cosplay was still on the airplane, with the chance of it arriving the same day only if they ignored international customs and security checks. By that point, I was defeated. The cosplay would never arrive on time, and I would be forced to meet my idol wearing a Pokemon shirt.
Psych!
Through sheer miracle, and what I can only assume was a catastrophic failure of international customs, the package arrived the same day. I can only assume a more benevolent Guangguan and Alejandro Saab looked fuck, looked down from the heavens and decided my quest was not yet over. I was just spared from a terrible destiny of being the one guy wearing a Pokemon shirt. The only large gatherings I've ever attended were Yu-Gi-Oh! And Smash tournaments. So needless to say, I was exceptionally prepared for social interactions, as I had witnessed humanity at its absolute apex. And it looked like this. After waking up at 3:30 in the morning, I realized that I am not built for this shit, and that maybe this is too far out. This would be enough for me to cancel the entire operation and return to my abusive relationship with the Marvel Rivals ranked system. But then a little voice came into my head. I wasn't just waking up early. I was doing it because I was meeting the Amalee. I push through and I arrive at the convention, which will get its own separate video. All you need to know for this video is that I am fucking awkward. So here's a prime example that I actually have no idea how to pose for pictures. Just look at this. Maybe it's the fact that I'm holding my things, or that I'm leaning so close to Dragonite that he actually issued a restraining order. But you can clearly see the iconic Star-Lord pose that he hits in every single movie, the one where he leans on you for no reason. If you don't believe that's actually me in the picture, just Google Pokedex 591. Getting back into the story, it actually went pretty smoothly, the convention. The smell never quite reached the foul stench of a Smash tournament, and somehow, after walking around, I actually found the panel with the Scuff Queen herself. So I made my way to the voice actor section. I noticed that the line is a 50-minute wait, something unacceptable in full cosplay and on the verge of a heat stroke, with one of my most defining traits being my immeasurable impatience. While on the verge of exploding, I remembered that this is to meet the Amalee, so I decide to make the sacrifice play and to get into that line. I remember that line like it was yesterday. There was a guy flirting with ChatGPT at the front, and a guy dressed as Naruto right behind me. After 50 minutes of contemplating my existence, Naruto began making small talk with me. After realizing that we have absolutely nothing in common, he goes around asking anyone if they want a breath mint. And when he reaches me, my brain temporarily implodes. I was brought towards Amalee's table by a man who looked cartoonishly buff, an imposing mountain of muscle, often unexpected in conventions such as this. I was given exactly 30 seconds to decide if I wanted a selfie or an autograph, as my wallet could only sustain one. What I could only assume was our manager politely asked for my name and which service I wanted. As I resisted the urge to give a fake name, I picked the selfie option. Right before I get to speak to her, my brain stops working like a fresh new Jeff player on my rank up game. Her authority as an internet person shatters whatever little confidence was left inside my head. Amma gets a front row seat to my inability to say anything coherent, recognizing me as one of her endless socially helpless fans. In response, she manhandles the situation, easing the tension, and even proposes to take the pictures herself. As you can already see, I have no idea what pose I'm supposed to be doing, with the focal point of this picture being that fucking hand. What was I doing? Our epic exchange keeps going naturally, as she asks me if I play Marvel Rivals, and my superior social skills allow me to reply with, a lot, which is arguably the worst thing you should say when you first start meeting someone. I escaped the situation without any pride left, or my backpack, as I left it behind in a hurry, so I had to retrieve it in a somewhat weird walk of shame, showcasing my masterful control over my emotions. There it was, my first interaction with Amalee. 90% of that interaction was me embarrassing myself, but believe me when I say that there's more. After three stalking a guy in Smash, because one other random guy brought their Switch and a projector, I was actually allowed to reconnect to my real competitive roots. And a thought crossed my mind. In Smash, when you lose terribly, you run it back until you learn the matchup. And that's exactly what I needed to do. Instead of giving up, I spent more money to go in again. Because this is the Amalee. So instead of learning from my experience, I purchased a rematch. I go back in determined to play along and force myself to interact properly. But just like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun, and I burned most of my topics immediately. By improvising, I told her that I used to listen to your music religiously while I was playing Smash, and for some reason, I showed her the clip of me three stalking the same guy at the convention. In retrospect, she does not give a shit that I beat some random guy at a convention, and personally, I have no idea why I showed it to her. But while my wallet may hate me now, at least I have a story to tell the people that I met. They say to never meet your heroes. I actually think that's pretty stupid. When I met Amalee, she was super nice, even though I was very awkward and dying inside. She made the situation better and made the whole thing healthy, and I was actually capable of talking a little bit. Even if in a hypothetical I didn't had the chance to meet her, the con was still extremely fun. I had a great experience. Everyone was super nice, and it was great all over. I would recommend going to the next one. I also made this video because I want people who face these similar cringe moments to, understand, or not understand, understand that they're not alone in this. And lastly, I also did this for me, so that I can finally let go of this awkwardness or just feeling I have inside. I will not let this moment define me any longer. Okay.